Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and this episode is the one, a very important one that you guys have all been waiting for. I'm going to give you the shipping instructions for anime giveaway number 5. All right, so I'm just going to quickly go over, how this is going to work and how how the plan is going to be, and then give you some of the options, for the actual shipping and that kind of stuff, and so that way you can determine based on what you got, what are you going to need, right? So that's sort of the option you have, right? Okay, so first thing now is I'm sure right now you've seen there's 3 videos of all the various different goodies you got. You've got some you got some figures, you've got some CDs, you got DVDs, some magazines if you like, and that kind of stuff. And what I'm going to do is these are the main featured items. And above all this, I'm going to be adding some other kind of magazines, flyers, other handles of printouts. I've got some advertising sheets. I've got cards and that kind of stuff. I'm going to throw them all into, with your thing to basically fill up, and to give you that sort of, feeling of, when we were trading and trying to, communicate with each other and tell each other, hey, there's this stuff, or here's some some new music I ran into. I'll ship them to you, and you can have a listen to them. I got some, let's say some movies or some videos or whatever. Check these ones out. I'll send you a video cassette or something of them, and this gives you an opportunity to go through them and look at them, see what you think. Maybe you will be interested in it. The magazines and that kind of stuff are things of, obviously this is the fastest way that in that kind of an era that you would learn about new things, right? Because obviously there's no internet, right? So whatever happened in Japan, you'd never know about it unless it got published in a magazine or in a newspaper or something. And obviously nothing over here talks about what goes in Japan, right? I mean, obviously you pick up People's Magazine, you pick up TV Guide, you pick up even the Globe and Mail or whatever. They don't talk about anything that happens in Japan, right? So you would never know, except for big events and natural disasters or whatever. You would never know what goes on there. Especially in entertainment, you would never know any of that kind of stuff. So these magazines were really valuable for us to learn and to find out what about what's coming out, what things are on the market, and what is available for you to buy and that kind of stuff. So that's what we really found very important. And what we would go through, and we'd look through the magazines, very, very carefully. We'd go through all the ads, we'd go through all the different articles to see what was exactly going on. And this is how we found out a lot of the information, and pieced out different things from them. Okay, so again, I'm going to throw all that kind of that kind of stuff into your boxes and into the bags, that kind of stuff as you go. Okay, now obviously you now have a list of things that you'd be very interested in getting. And again, I'm not charging you anything for the actual things themselves. All I'm going to be asking for is some shipping, just to make sure to cover the cost of shipping to get them to where you are. Okay, and then we do that. So we're going to sort of outline what you're going to be doing, right, and then the order that happens, right. So directly after you finish watching this video, I want you to go down below and in the comments, write down exactly what you want. Okay, make it a couple items. Maybe make it your first, second, third, or fourth choice sort of thing, right? And then I'll basically, according to the time that you posted that note, I'll just sort it according to newest to old, should I say, oldest to newest, or newest to oldest, I guess. And that way it'll sort it out for me, who got in first, who got in second, right? I will be also putting that into a list underneath in the comments below, so you'll know where you ranked. Okay. Again, anyone who's already a Patreon or a PayPal subscriber, anyone who's just sort of done any sort of that kind of support, you will get first pick. So even though someone may have gotten in before you, because you are a subscriber, your choice that you have as the number one will override anyone who's got one above them who doesn't. All right, and again, first come, first serve based on that priority, right? So again, I've already given you lots of warning that if you haven't been a subscriber or then that was probably your best chance. Okay, so yeah, keep that in mind for future anime giveaways, right? Okay, so then you've got that list. I will then rank everybody and then tell you who and what wins the different things after I leave the video up for the first 2 weeks. Okay. After that, then after I announced who and what what you've gotten, then you will then need to pick what type of box or what kind of shipping things based on what you've gotten, right? Okay, and that's what I'll go over right now. So the most basic sort of thing that I have for those people who get something very simple and basic would be your standard envelope. Okay, so this is your standard sort of letter size, it's sort of envelope, it's padded. Okay, so this be suitable for putting some audio cassettes in here, maybe some DVDs. Okay, this time around I don't have any video cassettes, but I mean sometimes I would have fan subs, and you could probably fit 2 or 3 of them in here, and I could get this out to you for like $10. Okay, so anything that you got that, or if you picked one of the magazines, I can throw it into one of these things and send it to you for that. Okay, so that's suitable for that thing. And again, there's enough room in this thing. I can throw in a few paper flyers. I can throw in a bunch of loose cards, and I think I still have some index cards, so I can probably throw a few of those things in there. And definitely have a lot of these promotional flyers and that kind of stuff that the commercial companies really hand out, and I got those from the cons and that kind of stuff. I got still lots of those things. I'll throw them in there. Again, so if you got that will do. I can't put a hell of a lot of weight. I think I can only put on up to 2 kilograms or something like that, or whatever, up to these things before it trips it over. But I can throw a little bit in here. Okay, so for those into the basic packages, there's something for you. Okay. Now I've tried this a couple times, and so I know that I'm still kind of caught in the past where you could actually get stuff sent to you, but of course nowadays $5 doesn't send a video cassette anywhere nowadays, so it's gotten way more expensive than that. So that's that's par for the course for them. Okay, the next step up is going to be the $25 box, and it's going to be your standard Amazon kind of size box. Okay, like I can probably put a few different things in here. Sometimes the box is a little bit more or a little squashier, flatter, but a little bit wider, so I can put like a magazine and that kind of stuff. I got a few of those type of things still around. So something like this kind of a box, most people typically, if they got 1 or 2 things relatively flat, I could probably get a couple things in here. $25, will take care of those little things. If you've ordered any figures, maybe with the exception of the Record Lost one, you could probably get into that one. But the other ones, like the Madoka and the Samurai, obviously won't fit in that one, so don't bother. Definitely can fit a bunch of DVDs in there. I can fit a bunch of audio cassettes in there, no problem. As long as it's only a couple of magazines, I can probably get that in there, so that's not so bad. But I won't be able to put too much because again, weight allowance and the size won't allow me to do that, right? So because I think once it hits over 5 pounds or something like that, then that that won't work, right? So just think about that when how heavy it gets when you do that, right? So that's $25. Now the most common one that most people pick is this one, okay? And this is the next sort of larger size Amazon type box. Okay, it's good. It's obviously letter size, so I can obviously put the magazines in here. I can throw a bunch of the mangas and that kind of stuff in here as well. And those sorts of larger stuff like into that. Obviously the DVDs and that kind of stuff. Now this one is good enough to fit the the Madoka figure. Although I'll have to there are obviously ones which are a little bit smaller in size and and not as maybe a little bit higher. Okay, then I'll have no problems with that one. Okay, so that one is probably for most people. If you just go for most things, you'd probably go with that, and that's the most popular one. Most of you guys tend to pick this one, and it's the best choice because it obviously gives me the most flexibility to actually put good stuff in there. Usually things when it goes over about 5 pounds or whatever, that's usually the choice for setting up stuff. And I can usually get most of the stuff in there relatively easy, with again, still got lots of magazines, got lots of flyers, and a lot of flat stuff. I don't have a lot of video cassettes and that kind of stuff that that are kind of a little more bulkier this time around, but I'll work around that. And maybe in the future we'll have more of that kind of stuff. But but something like that is really well good, and again, that's usually the most popular choice. Okay, now this time around, there's those are usually the options. Again, if you want to if you want to add a little bit more, you want to give throw in a donation as well, because because of what there is, or you want to try to hopefully improve your chances of getting something, or kick yourself up to the next year. Then that's also a good way to do that thing. That's a good time to do that. There is one obviously bigger size box that I have to have because of this big thing. Okay. Okay, so this is the Sailor Moon figure from the first episode, okay? And you can see that obviously it's not going to fit in this box, right? Because it's even taller than the box itself, right? I'm going to need even a bigger box than this one to fit her into it. So if you order this one, you're going to probably need a $75 box, okay, to put this one. Again, I'm going to have room to obviously put some other stuff in there, like some of the mangas and maybe put some CDs and tapes in there. No problem. But again, I'm going to need a little more space to obviously, put that in there. I'm going to have to put some bubble wrap around her and that kind of stuff. So it's going to, if you kind of imagine this thing, right, the whole box has got to be, this much, a little bit taller and around it to actually, fence it off. And so it's, and then again, this thing's also got a bit of weight too. I mean, this thing's probably close to, it will definitely over 5 pounds. It's probably closer to 7, maybe even 7, 8, 9 pounds. Okay, this thing, because it's solid as it is, right? So, it's that in itself is probably about $40-$50 in just the shipping alone in that thing. So when you take account to the size of the box and the thing, so it's easy going to be a $75 box to put that in there. So again, if you really if you're the one that wins that one, you're going to definitely need to pick the large box. I'm not saying that if you want to get a $75 box just to get cool stuff, that's fine too. You can get that one and you can whatever. But definitely for her, you want to do that for that one as well, for sure. Okay. So, all right. So, I'm sure you're anxious to put your name down there. And again, first come, first serve. So again, get that list that you want. Again, maybe list it first, second, third. Kind of your choices down there. Post it down below as soon as you can, because obviously, people have got their notifications on, waiting for this video to come out. And I'm sure now that I put it out, everyone's going to be lining up and putting that again. So again, keep checking back to this video. I'm going to change the comments and update the comments so it has the chart of who wins what and the order in which people get into. And then when you see your name on there and you see what you have won, you will then send in by PayPal. The PayPal link is below. You want to PayPal me your the amount that you need for the size of the box accordingly. So either the 10, 25, or 50, or 75 maybe. Do that. You'll see that, and I'll also put in the when I ship it out, so that you'll know that kind of give an idea of how long it'll take to get there, because it's usually to the States, it's usually 7 to 10 business days for the most part, to get it to you. If you're having problems with the PayPal link or whatever, or you don't have anything, email me below, or if you have any special questions, email me. Again, links below. You can ask for some other options or whatever, and then I'll work with you with that. All right. So again, good luck, and hopefully you get what you again is the quicker you get on it, the better chance you have. Right. So hope you get what you want, and definitely enjoy all the cool stuff that you get. All right. So without further delay, go to it, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, I will see you again.